Good evening, poor souls, to another edition of Zooster by Night. This evening we are carrying on from a previous episode in which Seth and Bitta and Bob were able to gather together. Sorry, it's Arthur. Uh, gather together a few arms, set fire to a munitions storage facility, and secured away a holy captive. So Seth is out to get his reserves replenished from hunting, as he is going to go and have a heart-to-heart chat with our captive here, uh, see what information that they can share with each other. So that would be a failure of any kind of hunting roll, so it does not look like I find anybody tonight.
No, but you had one success, so it's not a botch.
That's a good thing. All right, so on we go. So, returning a little frustrated from an unsuccessful attempt at hunting, Seth is feeling slightly lethargic, but not too bad. But the illness, the curse that has been plaguing some members of the city is definitely taking its toll on him. But getting into the morgue, he approaches the preparation room that they have their captive secured to a table at. Nobody else is at the morgue right now, as Brother Crawford is probably being much more successful with his hunting endeavors. So Seth is just going to enter the room and pull up a chair and just kind of sit on the chair backwards and look at this fellow strapped to the table. What's the uh, what's the behavior of this guy right now?
He is chanting scripture at the moment, and you feel uneasy.
I feel uneasy.
And you are not able, unless you make a successful willpower check, to get within 5 feet of him at the moment.
Okay. And I will also want to make a. I got
That
one success.
unholy aura of yours.
Uh, this isn't my willpower roll. This is actually, I'm just making my roll for identifying the passage that he happens to be chanting. Then I'll make my willpower. But yeah, my own aura, which I do get success. So I do approach within 5 feet of him, and as I said, I'll just sit on the chair backwards. Are you comforted by scripture, brother?
Conviction. Why are these three here? Oh, whatever. There's one success. I know what you are, foul thing of the pit, and you will not have me. For the for the face of the Lord is against evildoers, to cut off the memory of them from the earth is our only goal.
Well, I'm surprised, brother, that working for the same God, that you would be so harsh towards me.
You are dead and unholy, as a great many things in the city are.
But surely you can sense the strength of my faith as much as I can sense the strength of yours. All things under the sun are created by God. Therefore, He is the one that has made us. Why would you consider us an enemy?
You are an abomination unto the Lord, such as made by Cain when he refused the 3 angels of mercy sent to him.
Seth will arch an eyebrow. You are very learned, brother.
As Ariel does speak, so does the sun beget knowledge.
It's impressive. I wasn't sure exactly to what level of understanding that you had. Different interpretation, I would see, but at either rate, we are just as the tempter was given commands by God towards Job. We serve a function in his grand scheme.
The
So why
gates of
would
heaven
you
may be
hate
shut,
us?
but you are not to be. Hold on while I figure out how to say this. There's too many. Alright. Alright, so 1 Corinthians 10:21. I'm looking at my old King James Bible, so forgive me as I'm trying to figure out how to say
No
some of
problem.
this. Because I've also got to keep in mind, this is an
Probably
old
what you would
crazy
be
man.
quoting too.
You cannot drinketh from the cup of the Lord, for you are beget by a demon, one who is, who was, and who forever will be, and is marked as such.
That is true. I am not able to go, no longer able to go to communion since God called me away from the mortal service. But as the Apostle John said, that thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. I am worthy to serve God's needs. Therefore, that is my sustenance now.
The law speaks it so, and therefore your transgressions against the natural order of things bids me not entreat with you. So saith the Lord God to his servants.
Well, it is true that some will not be buried, and neither will men lament for them, as the prophet Jeremiah spoke. But there is a proverb that says that the vampire has 2 daughters. She eats, wipes her mouth, and knows that she has done no wickedness. So again, I'm confused. Now, I could understand where you would focus your righteous wrath towards those of my kind who are shirking their duties, just as my focus is on the mortals that do not follow the righteous path. But why would you turn your attention on those of us who are obeying his edicts to our species?
For the way is closed to me, and the gates of heaven thusly have been closed. My visions prove thus, and the angels of the Lord do so speaketh to me.
Yes, I am barred from heaven. That is not my destiny. I am destined to roam the earth like the robber that was executed next to Christ, doomed to not taste death until judgment day. Now, I know there are individuals that require your righteous wrath. And I know that as a man of faith, myself, I know that torture is probably not going to do much to you, which is why I am instead trying to have a civil conversation uh, with you for I don't get much opportunity to have this level of intellectual discourse. The last individual of your brand of creature that I attempted to engage in scriptural debate ended up refusing the conversation and fled. So I'm glad that I have the opportunity for us to be able to sit here and speak civilized.
The wayward son will always come back to home. However, the wayward now seek only to destroy that which is evil and inhuman in the world.
Well,
And that's going to be a conviction roll from me.
if you are the wayward son,
I need you to tell me, do you have any knowledge of hunter creeds?
not specifically, all I would have is just a straight occult roll.
Okay. Well,
unless he's like
make it
part
for
of some.
me.
Okay.
He's trying to blast it from your mind.
Okay. Perception or intelligence?
Intelligence occult.
Okay.
You know that there's different types, but now, even if you knew, you do not know what types of hunters there are. That was a permanent point of conviction.
So if you are the wayward son and you're looking for a way to come back because you know that you are wasting your time trying to combat the wicked in the world, what can I do to help you?
I am not the wayward. I am the prophet who sees all, who cannot shut the inner eye.
I see. And for that great gift of prophecy, you were security guard for those who are blind to the Lord's voice?
Jobs are taken when jobs are needed. When thoughts of evil permeate the minds of men, thus shall the sword of the righteous be there.
You know, often the Lord guides me. Sometimes I don't understand why I am led to where I end up or why opportunities beget themselves. Perhaps He led the two of us meeting as we have for a purpose. That is important for the two of us to have this interaction. Perhaps we can help each other understand our true place in His plan.
My place is with the Lord, and upon my death shall I wait before the gates of heaven, which are closed to all, until such time as I am admitted into them. For no man may pass this gate, not now, not until the day that the kingdom comes.
Is that your ultimate goal? Is you're actually trying to bring about the end of the world? My friend, it's already here.
When werewolves, vampires, changelings, demons walk the streets, what else could it be? And you'll see that
Well,
one of his eyes has changed color, and he's now talking like this.
well, most of us have been walking the streets since the beginning, since before the beginning. So, with that in mind, then it's always been the time of the end. The flood was sent to cleanse, and now we are left to our own devices because that is God's promise that He would not flood the world again.
There shall be no flood, there shall be a rain of fire from the sky.
Yes, there shall. Rain of fire, rain of blood. The horsemen are already galloping. Conquests are happening, wars, famine, death. You see it, I see it. We all know it. So what role do you see yourself? Are you to be the two witnesses left rotting outside the city gates?
No, they have yet to come, though they shall be like me, and shall see all, but unlike me they shall know all. The angels that protect us shall instruct them, far greater than they instruct what is here, but can be seen, what can't be seen.
So we're the angels that are protecting you right now. Because don't get me wrong, I do understand that torture is more or less confirming our faith. And I know if I turned you over to my comrades, your life would be cut short. And I think it would be best to try to keep you alive as long as possible. But just because I'm loath to do some things, if it's unnecessary, doesn't mean that I'm too squeamish to do so.
With that, he
So,
bites his tongue a bit. You see blood dribble from his mouth. And then he paints his lips in a cross. And then brandishes his lips towards you, forcing you back. Or at least trying to.
is that another willpower roll?
That'll be another real power roll. Because
Okay.
you're within his aura, it'll be a difficulty 9.
I am going to spend a willpower point because I really, really, really not wanting him to push me away at this point of the conversation. And that's good because I would have had a failure otherwise.
God is with me, and the angels see me and thus give me power. And his eyes flare white.
And they allow you to be here. So what is the reason that you are here then, at my mercy?
What is the
Are
reason that
you
what's
a
here?
test? Are you testing me? Is this a test to see if I have conviction to my faith?
Oh, you don't have conviction like I do. You cannot bring forth miracles from faith. Only through the blood of the cursed can you do anything.
Uh, that in itself could be argued as being a miracle. There are the miracles that were provided to Cain, as you pointed out.
Were they miracles, or were they simply black magics, as Lilith gave unto Cain, as the crone gave to Cain?
Oh, that's heresy, my friend. Do you want me to start spouting off scriptures about Jesus riding velociraptors? I mean, really, let's show a little bit of dignity for each other's beliefs. I said this was going to be a civilized conversation.
Ah, so your Book of Nod makes you squeamish.
No,
Interesting.
not at all, actually. But you have to keep in mind that Lilith, as God's consort, learned her abilities from him as well. So therefore, you're still talking yourself in a circle.
Maybe.
But if you are here as a test of my conviction and resolve, I suppose I could indulge that. I was more hoping we could just sit and talk. But, well, I'll wait. I don't think I've necessarily seen a sign yet that I necessarily have to prove my conviction by inflicting mundane pain upon you. So tell me, my friend, what is it that you see? I am granted the gift of prophecy as well. What have you seen for your creature's race?
I see fire coming to this city, and a sword with blood dripping. I see werewolves surrounding the city. I see fae skittering here and there, fleeing the city. I see no mages in this city. I do see ghosts. They're in the city now too. Someone brought them. Race. His eyes are like
It,
bulging wide now, and they're still glowing white.
they have been here for some time, but I'm sure recent events have no doubt added to their population. Werewolves don't seem to be too common, though I suppose with my vision of the Krampus beheading one, that there would no doubt be some sort of retaliation for that action. Plus, we
Fuzzy
know
Wuzzy was a bear.
Big
Ravens
Fuzzy Wuzzy
sitting
had.
on ravens sitting on fence posts listening, always listening and then going and talking to others. Always talking. Foxes with 9 tails. I see everything, and I can't turn it off! And he just bangs his head against the table that he's on.
I can understand. Even for creatures like us, it's difficult to process everything when we open our minds up to prophecy. I could try to soothe your pains, but you seem to be very much trying to resist my help.
My mind is a fortress closed, with gates barred.
You know, there was once an English fortress that was impregnable. It ended up falling because somebody crawled in through the sewage, came up out of the outhouse, and opened the gates. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that the direction we need to go?
His head snaps up, looks at you. Buggery will get you nowhere.
That's pretty distasteful.
You are the one who speaks of sewage.
That is true, but that in itself, I'm surprised that your first instinct was to think of such activities, though.
I have seen many of your kind do strange and awful things to corpses, including the
Well,
new one who came into the city. He
I
was
have
on the news.
I have heard of many things that your people have done nasty to living individuals, so I suppose it's turnabout and whatnot. So how did you fall in to becoming a creature of wrath?
I am a creature of prophecy.
Okay. How did you come about to become a creature of prophecy? Was it
I,
at birth?
I saw one of your kind take a young girl away through mere words and knew what would happen to her. And then my mind was closed and the gates were barred forevermore to prevent such things happening to me.
I noticed. Such are the gifts of my comrades. They did not seem to have much luck in talking with you. That means that torture is probably even less likely to work out.
If it is my will to die, holy flames shall leap from my body and consume this very building and everything inside it.
Well, that's good to know. So what is it that you're waiting for then? Are you going to wait until you're convinced that the kingdom of heaven is ready for you?
Every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed to a point, then shall he know the metal of his own soul.
Hmm.
So saith the Lord.
What
Titus 1:15.
what temptations do you fight against, brother? The
Using my
buggery that you are so
power,
defensive for?
using my power to burn half of this city in a white hot holy flame.
And you call us a monster? You would you would waste that much human life?
No, which is why it is a tempting thing and not a doing thing.
You're even the fact that you're tempted to slaughter that many innocent lives, that is a shame.
Better to be killed while innocent than to be tempted by your kind to debauchery, as well as the demon that makes its way around here.
But you see, only the righteous make their way into the kingdom of the Lord. And without the opportunity to withstand and prove their faith, their righteousness is worth nothing.
Nothing may enter the kingdom of the Lord, for the gates are shut and the angels guard it.
The apostle said that faith without works is dead, and he even acknowledged that the demons know, but it's belief that makes the difference. So if a
There's a
mortal,
demon in the city and you haven't found him.
I haven't looked for them. The fact, though, is that slaughtering innocents isn't going to get them there sooner because they haven't proven themselves.
I keep repeating, but you are not hearing. The gates are shut. Nothing may enter the kingdom of the Lord.
So therefore, you're just going to bide your time until the gates open?
Into the ground I shall go, and await unto judgment day. For the kingdoms of for the kingdoms of heaven, the gates are barred and shut and guarded by angels.
But I thought you acknowledged that it is Judgment Day.
Judgment day comes. The apocalypse must first happen. First must all 4 horsemen come, all 12 bowls, all 7 trumpets.
And what makes you think that such events have not occurred already? You say you see.
Wormwood has yet to arise. It will be not a meteor, it will be one beholden to the earth that rises from hell.
Oh, so now you're saying that you know better than the Apostle John. Oh, interesting. So, which parts of the Bible are you choosing to ignore and fill with your own version? Just so I'm clear.
Wormwood is supposed to be a comet. The word comet, I don't know the Latin word. Translate Greek to Latin to English, and you have a name, actually. Insert this name. I'm just going to say comet for ease of purpose. Has yet to poison the water.
Well, they've already poisoned the blood. That's close enough for my liking.
The seas do run red, but the water isn't poisoned yet. So the comet has not arisen, or fallen from grace, whichever you prefer.
The long-haired man. We're supposed to be looking for a long-haired man.
Don't know if demons have long hair.
Hmm.
I think their bodies do. I've seen one in the city, but he doesn't have long hair. Can't kill him though. Don't know how. They just come back, and they just come back angry. But he's here. I've
Most
seen
most
him.
things do. Most things that come back do come back angry. I was filled with a bit of rage when I came back, but now I understand the purpose behind the calling. Do you go through an epiphany like that, or you said your mind closed? So
My mind closed and my eyes opened.
that sounds anticlimactic, the way you describe it anyway.
Others have seen friends torn apart by werewolves. I've seen loved ones killed by vampires in front of them. I've seen children stolen from cribs by those who come from the dreams. I merely saw and did nothing.
Wow, you must be really proud of your inaction.
One cannot fight what one does not know.
So you're letting your comrades go uneducated?
When I saw, I did not know what I know now, nor did I have the ability to fight, as I did in my youth.
I would probably agree with that. If we got the drop on you, you're probably not much of a warrior.
I can remember the Civil War.
And again, you point out so eloquently the fact that you are a unholy creature just as I. Whether you are attempting to serve the positive aspect of our God,
I am not unholy. The book
well,
itself
you
says that
are.
humans live and can live hundreds of years.
That would have been at the flood time. King Solomon said it's only 80 or 90 years. Pretty sure Civil War is a little bit longer than that ago.
King Solomon also had dealings with demons.
Yeah,
How well can you trust someone that does that?
he is well known for have had the upper hand. I kind of just assumed that he was gifted, such as yourself.
You see that his eyes flare once, and then dim a bit, and then flare again. I don't see it.
You don't see
It, when
it.
looking at him.
Ah, well,
Prophecy goes forward and backwards in time.
that's usually the easiest way for it.
I see a man invoking demons, and nothing more.
Hmm. So there's just one nagging little question I have here. So if you acknowledge that demons are walking the earth and that you don't know how to destroy them, and demons are just fallen angels, how do you know your source is untainted?
I do not know, but I have been long out of harmony with the others. I am old. Some, even the noblest warrior, deserves a rest from time to time.
Well, you've said a lot. I've said a lot. But I think we're getting to that point in the conversation where we're just going to start butting heads. And that's going to get dreary. So, do you have anything actually interesting that you can like pass on? Is it is it you and your patron that is poisoning us, or is that this demon you're talking about? Are you gonna point the finger elsewhere?
Don't know.
Because
Can look.
it
Don't want
feels
to
more
look.
like you. Feels more like you guys. It doesn't feel like
No, not
other
us.
energies. I thought you said you didn't want to look.
Us here. Numbers 1. Well, numbers many inside me, as I can look forward and backwards.
Ooh.
But not us.
I have a similar state as well. Interesting. you and I do have a lot more in common than maybe you want to realize. What about the sinners at the airport? Have you been displaying any attention at them? Were you guys the ones that created that fire a few months ago?
Others that were here are dead.
Uh,
Young, impetuous,
yeah, he was the one that didn't want to talk to me.
waywards, all of them.
Well, they're at peace now.
Maybe, maybe not. Depends on their works and deeds.
That is true. Nobody knows on this end. We all get to
Could
find out
know,
afterwards.
could know, choose not to. Looking would be looking to heaven's gates or to hell's open mouth. But there's a demon walking the streets.
You seem pretty
Actual
obsessed
demon.
with. You seem pretty obsessed on that topic. But see, for me to feel the urge to do you a favor by dealing with that, we've got to have some sort of two-way street here, my friend. You can't send me off to take care of a problem you don't know how to deal with and just expect me to come tra-la-lying back.
You can't deal with it. You do not have true faith.
Ah, but you do and said you don't know how to deal with it. So where does that get you?
To a conundrum that. And you see that he is trying to form a word, and it is blasted from his mind. Literally, you can see whatever he was about to say goes, as if an external force blasts it away.
Hmm. I've
Something.
assumed that he's got defenses, but I'm actually going to try to read his soul with Eyes of Chaos to see if I can pick up. I've had extensive interactions with him, so I should have some sort of
Does this
success.
affect his mind in any way?
No.
Does this give you any type of control over him?
No.
Alright, then you may make the roll.
This is me reading the eddies and currents of random chaos to try to get some sort of a vision as to what, I guess just to kind of see like what it was that just happened, like what external force struck.
Go ahead. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, it probably will be pretty good. I got sevens would probably do the trick. So that's two successes left.
You see a bright and shining figure standing in the room who literally smote him. And you need to make a Rorschach test.
Ooh, I like
For
rolling
that
damage.
was an angel of the Lord in your eye.
Nice. All right. Roll good. Oh, yeah.
Oh god. Alright. So you do not Rorschach. But you pretty sure you know what you saw.
My body will twitch a little bit, but I'll maintain myself. Uh-oh, somebody almost did a naughty thing. It looks like you just got smacked in the mouth.
You can't tell that his eyes are darting, but his eyes are darting. at that statement. You can just tell by the way that he
Oh,
kind of tenses.
Elohim just smacked the taste out of your mouth for what you were about to say. I'm impressed. I think I will keep you for a while and not hand you over to my comrades yet, because they will waste you. This has been good conversation. Is there anything I can get you to make your stay more comfortable?
I would ask for a cross, but something tells me you will not bring me one.
Hmm. I'll think it over actually, because maybe maybe we might want to put one here just to help you keep others from getting closer to you. I don't want anyone to come in behind my back and ruin my opportunity for good conversation. But in that case, I think, do you need any water? Like, are you thirsty? It's been a few days.
Bread,
I don't know if,
water,
okay.
not tainted.
Oh, I won't taint
Vomiting
it.
is.
I don't know if I don't know if I got bread. That I'll have to kind of work on. And whether or not it's clean or not, I'm not sure, but I'll go get you some water. So I will leave the room and I'll come back with a jug of water and a cloth. And I'm going to try waterboarding him for a little bit. Just to remind him that I can. You know what? I will trust your knowledge base on what kind of skill roll would that be?
That would be a secondary skill called torture and wits or
All right.
intelligence.
Wits or which?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay. I will make an intelligence roll. What is the difficulty?
Since you don't have the secondary skill, it's going to be an 8.
Okay. All right. So I'm not very. I don't. Basically, I put a cloth on his head and dump a bunch of water on him. It's not very effective. At least I didn't botch and drown him by accident.
Could have done that.
Could have done that. But I'll leave the wet cloth in his mouth so he can suckle at it, and I'll be back, my friend. And I'll leave him be strapped down. And unless there's anything that's going to strike me with lightning or anything afterwards, I believe we can probably end scene.
um, you forget the word wayward, and you forget the word uh, profit was ever spoken in this conversation.
Okay, so I just forget the word wayward or that entire phrase about
You
the
forget
wayward son.
wayward was ever spoken.
Okay, so I forget wayward, and I forget that he referred to himself as a prophet.
Yes.
Okay,
So you'll come up with something blank there, and you won't know why.
okay, okay. I'll just condense from my recollections. It's not like I have eidetic memory anyway, so. And Seth does get distracted sometimes, so. All right, then thank you for watching. It's been very interesting as Seth begins to try to either break this guy or just reaffirm this guy's personal beliefs. But we will see. This could be very educational on my training towards the path. So thank you for viewing, and we will see what happens next visit. Hail Cain.